Well, it's 3 a.m. Just getting ready to go mining. Let's take a little look, see what the weather is. Well, it's snowing. Nothing says mining like it's snowing. Let's see who else is ready to go. Rigbone. Let's go. Back in a bit. Well, at least the roads are good. Only 3 more hours to go. Back in a bit. Well, I'll tell you why Santa checks his list twice, so he doesn't forget his darn waiters. Jeez. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Flower Gold Wizards. I'm Jason. That's Rigby. We're part-time gold prospectors based in Wisconsin. And I'm on a spot I know has great gold in it. I brought my sluice down today, but we're going to do a little bit of playing. Now, normally, I bring my Garrett Super Sluice pan down here because it really works well. It's got those big, deep riffles in there, and I can move an awful lot of material with this baby. But I want to put it up against my big Mine Lab pan here. It's got this great, big, huge, wide bottom, and it's got a little bit shallower riffles, but there's more of them. And it's also got some really tiny flower gold riffles in there for the fine stuff that we get around here. So let's get our sluice up and running and put these babies head to head and see who wins. Hit that subscribe button and don't go away. Back in a bit. All right, now I've got some material classified down. I've got my sluice set up, and I've got both of my pans sitting right here. So we're gonna take 5 scoops out of that pail, so it's all kind of mixed together and I'm getting the same material. We're gonna see which one we find better. Back in a bit. Yeah, that stuff's full of clay, but I know there's gold in it because this is a really good spot. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we'll throw one on the sluice. See how that baby's running? And it looks like it's running fantastic. Everything's rolling around real well. So we're in business in that area for sure. All right, look at there. There's already some gold dropped out right there. Piece of gold in there. Where'd that thing go? Well, it's in there. All right, I've got 5 in there. I'll put 5 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's begin. All right, let's start off with the trusty old Super Sluice. Now, I didn't want to load these pans up too darn heavy just because of the amount of clay material in there. It's just absolutely packed with clay. And I don't want to risk losing any of this gold out here because it's a long ride. There's a lot of work that goes involved. It's involved with getting these amounts of gold here, you know, like breaking ice. But that's all fine and dandy. That's all part of the allure for me. Now this Super Sluice pan, I've gotten so used to using it. It can be heavy if you fill it up with too much material, but it sure does do the job. Those big riffles hold on to an awful lot of material. And again, there is only 2 of them though. So I want to find out if having more riffles makes much of a difference at all. And I'm not exactly sure whether it would or not. So I tell you what, I've got that down about as far as I want. I'll put that off to the side right here. And we'll get our blue material here worked on. Now again, as you can see, let me clear that out a little bit. It's got, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 riffles, if you count that top edge right there, that have the capability of trapping gold if you use the pan properly. Now some of that material is going to slump right up and over the top of those shallow riffles just because they are so shallow, where it might not have the opportunity to do it in this pan here. I mean, I can get my whole darn finger down inside of that thing there. So this pan might just be one that you have to take a little bit more time with. And I could tell I'm getting a lot of material just kind of sliding right up and over those riffles right there. Now, I typically use this pan as a cleanup pan just because the bottom is so darn wide. And the material this is made out of, it's not the same plastic as every darn pan out there. It's kind of sticky. I mean, the gold just absolutely sticks to it. And that's one of the reasons I really like using this to clean up with. So we've got that just about down. Now, I don't think I'm losing too much, but I notice I am losing quite a bit of the lighter materials, especially on the edges right here where it's working, where it's just kind of floating up and over. So I'll get that stuff right back down to the bottom of the pan here. And that's about as far as I want to take that one. Let's get both these cleaned up and we'll do a little side by side. Back in a bit. And the results. All right, now this blue pan here, there's my finger right there. Now we did wind up getting some gold. Now a couple pieces went sliding off, but they're real tiny, like those couple there. I think there's 4 or 5 or so, and they just kind of went sliding on off. Now in this one, you can see I got a bigger piece there. And then I also got a whole bunch of tiny little dots in there. And again, you know, a few of those went sliding on and off of there. But I am left with close to the same amount of material, I guess. So I don't know if it's a give or take or whatnot, but I guarantee, I know for a fact that there were more pieces in the Garrett Super Sluice pan than there was in this pan. And I really feel that the shallowness of those riffles right there is kind of limiting my, probably my speed more than anything. Whereas that pan there, I'm so confident with it. I think that just having the confidence to come out here and just swish that material around and absolutely blast through a few pails, speed panning, that's the pan I would go with. But I can't say anything bad about that Mine Lab pan, just because it works way better for cleaning up than that Garrett Super Sluice does. So I think it's going to be up to whoever has that pan in their hand, you know. My mind is undecided, but we are running some really good material here today. So with that being done, you know what we're going to do now? We are absolutely going to fill pails, because that spot is awesome. Back in a bit. Well, we've been feeding and feeding and feeding. He's off in the wilderness doing his thing. He just come back. And we're still running material over my sluice here, and there's some really nice pieces starting to show up in there. Look at that one. That's a dandy. And I have been seeing gold in there. So we're definitely still on the gold, and there's so much material to work there. It's not even funny. But you know us. Rigby told me to go up and check around that bend up there. So I'm going to, right after we have a little snack. Let's see what we got for a snack today. This snack time is brought to you by Meat Skis Quality Meats, mild beef sticks. field tested, Rigby approved. That's right. Well, it's been established that the spot we're working up there has between 10 to say 35 and upwards of maybe 50 if you're lucky in a pan, which is extraordinary. So why in the world would somebody go and prospect another spot if you're on gold like that? Well, that's like asking, why would you have two open beers? So Rigby led me up the creek here a little ways, and we found this fresh beaver dam. Oh, it's not fresh, but it's a beaver dam. And the water is quite a bit deeper up there. He's already looking for another spot. So I probably won't head up that way too much further, seeing as we're down there working and we're on good gold. But I wanted to work on this inside bend right here. So I went ahead and I grabbed a shovel full out of there. Take a look at it. It's got a lot of gravels and there is some clay mixed in with it. It doesn't appear to be all that hard to work. I shouldn't really have to maneuver that stuff around there. You know, there's a clay content in there, but it's not that kind of clay that doesn't bust up readily in water. But the gravels, the amount of gravels is what I like to see sitting on top of that. And they're really loose gravels, nice sized cobbles in there. So I'm going to throw a couple more scoops out of right here along this inside edge right here and see what's in it. Back in a bit. All right, now that was one giant heaping pan right there. And it yielded a couple of pieces of gold. They're not monsters by any means, but they're definitely bigger than the average tiny little eeny weeny dot. So when I move from down there where I'm getting upwards of 35 in a pan to a spot like this, you gotta be out of your mind. But I will crack open 2 beers. Back in a bit. I think I see another picker. I can't tell you enough how glad I am I put that indicator mat on there. That thing is absolutely telling me if I'm still shoveling gold on there. Look at that piece of gold right there. That thing is absolutely loaded with gold. We're crushing it. Crushing it. Typically, I clean that out after every, I don't know, pail or 2 pails or something, but I'm going to run 4 pails through this sluice and do a quick cleanup just to see, because it's going to be good. Rigby's nowhere to be found. Oh, there he is, right over there. I can see the tip of his ears. There's a squirrel chippering over there. Looks like a standoff. Back in a bit. Now remember, when you're running, it's always important to check your tailings. I'll give you an example of where I dig my tailings. You can see it's coming down and off the sluice right here. And you see how dark that material is right there? That's the heaviest of the materials right there. Then off it goes. The material's getting a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. That big. And then it turns into this real light blonde sand here. That's the stuff we're probably not going to check. We're going to check right in that area right there. So I got my Garrett. I'm going to fill that baby up. See if we're blowing anything out into the tailings here, because we are absolutely on the gold. There's gold showing up in this thing all over the place. There's a nice piece right there. And there's 2 really big ones that keep poking their head out right in there. They're kind of hidden behind that little black curtain right there for now. So let's check our tailings. Then we're going to do a clean out. Back in a bit. Right there. That looks like a pretty good spot. I'll grab one more of them right there. There we are. Got it. Let's check it out. I really hope there's nothing in the tailings. If there is, there shouldn't be too much, because that gold is just creeping over the top of that indicator mat. And when I do see them drop off the edge, they're getting caught in them first couple of riffles. And I've only seen gold down maybe 6 inches on that sluice total. Get that out of here. So I think we're running well. I could run maybe a little bit faster just to keep some of those riffles from being so clogged up. But I still think we're in the hunt. Let me see if I can pull this back one-handed. We'll see if old Jay and Rigby here, Flower Gold Wizard team, have any idea what they're doing at all. And I don't see any gold whatsoever. Not even one tiny speck. Oh, wait, I do see one speck. One speck. Right here. It's a little bit bigger one, too. Right there. I'll take that, because I've been watching hundreds and thousands of pieces flow over this thing, and I know they're in that mat. I know it for a fact. There, now it's clearing out a little bit. You can start to see the gold in them riffles. Look at all that, and up top in there. Oh, heck yeah. We are on it. All right, let me clean this up. We'll look at something pretty. Ooh, there's still some up in the mat there. That's right. Back in a bit. The baby boy's taking a nap. Well, I did a real quick brush back with my black sand. There's just so much of it. I mean, I've got a ton of black sand in here, and as you can see, it's full of gold yet. I just really did it quickly here just so I can get back to work. But look at the gold we're finding here. Nice chunky stuff too. I can feel a whole bunch of them. And there's one nice big piece of wire that I don't see in here. Now I went ahead and I panned into my Mine Lab pan here. As you can see, let me dump some of that out of there. And all that came out of the sluice too. That is a ton. Now I'm gonna guess that that big wiry looking flake is in there somewhere, because a lot of times those will just ride on off with the water when you're panning like that. But for 4 pails, I know there's a bunch of gold in there. There's a ton of gold in there. And that's a nice pile. So we're going to get back at it. I'm not taking a nap. Look at that, the mine boss. I guess we don't have a safety meeting today. Back in a bit. Well, me and Rigby have been running for a long time, and I know we got a ton of gold in this baby here. It's getting a little bit later in the afternoon, and I got something I got to take care of. A while back, I did some metal detecting, looking for my buddy Ryan's gold nugget he dropped out here one time. And that spot isn't too far away from here. And when I was doing that, I found a great big huge black rock, and it felt like it was solid iron, and I just kind of pitched it. Well, a couple of the commenters keep asking me to go back and get that thing. So we're going to right now. Back in a bit. Well, me and Rigby are on our way out of here. And I'm always looking around, walking through. I mean, there's no trail or nothing. I'm just walking through the darn woods here. And I looked down at I was going to step over this big down log here to go up over the hill. There's this darn container here stuffed in here. And I shook it. And I opened her up, and there looks like there's a little bullet or something in there. Let's take a little look at that. Let me see that. What is that? Yeah, I think it's an old bullet or something. Then there's a note inside of here. Let me, I don't want to ruin it. Tell you what, let me get my hands together here, and we'll take a little look at this. Geocaching something or another. I only see one name on it, or part of a name or something. If found this container by accident, you're welcome to join us. We ask only that you please don't move or vandalize. Well, that's pretty cool. Well, I hope somebody else finds it. I'll just go ahead and put that right back in there. Well, I'm not even a geocacher. And I found that. Guess it just pays to keep your eyes open. Yeah, stuff it right back in there. That's right where it was. All right, good luck, everybody. Back in a bit. Well, we made it. There's that rock right there. I had to find it. It was buried. Well, it's frozen in there. It figures I didn't bring any tools along with me. I figured I could just come and kick it out of the grass. So I went and broke off a branch. I'll see if I can dig that thing out of there. I might have to find a bigger branch. Back in a bit. All right. With much effort, I got that baby out. This little rock right here weighs about 25 pounds. I'd bet 20 pounds all day long. And it was setting my metal detector off like crazy. You can kind of see it's rusting right there. And somebody in the comments thinks this is a meteorite. Well, it might be and it might not be. I'm going to get her home and get her all cleaned up along with all that black sand. We're going to have all kinds of stuff to look at. Isn't that nice out here? This is my kind of prospecting right here. Back in a bit. Video update. Well, it's the next day. I got back kind of late. I just didn't feel it. So I went in the house and I spent the night with Mrs. Wizard. It's pretty early in the morning the next day. So we're going to clean up our gold and see what we get. Let's take a look. Video update. Here's what we got. I got my cleanup sluice ready to roll. I got a number of pans here and we've got our material. I've got a little bit of snufferings that I snuffered up during the day. And I'm gonna separate this material right here. Let me grab a little spoon here. Into bigs and littles. And we did find a picker in the bigs last time. So let's see if we can't find something today. Because I thought I saw a number of larger pieces that I might be able to pick up today. I'll just go ahead and throw that right in that pan there. And I think I'm gonna pan these out just a little bit at a time so there's not so much to deal with at once, because I think I might be losing some of those bigger, flatter flakes in this process here, just trying to pan too much material. So I'll do one of these just like that. And I think I'll be able to go through all this material without losing anything at all. Because some of those bigger, flatter flakes, you will lose in this larger material if you have too much in your pan. So I think doing this here, I don't think it'll take all that much longer just because it's easier to do this. And I don't see anything in there. So we're going to do that. I'll get started. Back in a bit. Video update. Here's all the gold from the bigs. Man, I really thought I saw some pretty big pieces on that sluice today. And sitting down in them riffles, I guess they weren't as big as I thought. Oh well, I know we got plenty of flour gold, and I have been getting a number of really nice sized garnets. And as I was classifying and panning this stuff out, I mean, look at the size of some of these here. They're pretty darn big. That's a pretty good sized garnet right there. I thought for sure we were going to land on some nicer pieces of gold, but no matter. We'll get this baby up and running. Just turn on my little switch here. There we are. And we're running. Then we'll grab a little teaspoon here, my little golden spoon. And we'll start feeding this baby. So I know there's lots of flour gold. So let's get some. Back in a bit. We are definitely getting there. There's lots of gold showing up now. I'd say we're probably halfway done or so. Every time I throw another scoop on there, I see another piece of gold or 2 or 10 or whatever. It's definitely working. That's right, baby. Back in a bit. Well, we're just about wrapped up here. And I got her down to about the final, I don't know, 1/8 of a teaspoon or so. And I thought I'd show the gold a little bit before I wrapped it up completely here. There's quite a bit of it. And there's some nice chunky looking long stuff in there too. Note that piece right there. So let me get this stuff all in a pan and we'll take a look at it. Back in a bit. All right, I've got my macro lens on there. We do have a number of really nice looking garnets here today. And those are pretty darn big ones too. And I got a little piece of clear quartz or something I just thought was handsome, so I kept it. And we pounded some gold today. Look at how nice and coarse that stuff looks here. There's another little garnet. I'll kind of pan over as much of this as I can here. And note some of those long looking wiry pieces. Those are exciting. Now these things here absolutely looked a lot bigger in my sluice than they are. I can feel a number of them, but I can't quite pick any of them up. There's a nice looking little chunk of gold right there. Yeah. Tell you what, let me get this off into off in the real world here and we'll take a little look. Look at all that gold right there. I think we beat the last time. Now, we didn't get a picker this time, but I think we got more gold. I spent a little bit more time shoveling on that sluice than I did cleaning up. And I think that made all the difference. Look at those babies. Look at how big them are. Those are some big garnets. Kind of fractured looking. Very cool. And here's that rock I went and picked up right here. That baby is absolutely heavy. And this is a magnet right here. And it sticks everywhere you put it on this rock. Anywhere you put it. So I don't know what the heck's going on with this thing. I don't know if I should cut it in half, see what's on the inside, or what to do with that. Go ahead and let me know in the comments. It looks kind of rusty. See that? So let me know what you think I should do, and I'll do it. Back in a bit. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Flower Gold Wizards. What a blast we had today. I had to break through a little bit of ice, but that's the price you pay to find the gold. I think we did better today than we did the last time on the mother load. We didn't get any pickers, but hey, what are you going to do? We got tons of flower gold, some great garnets, and maybe a meteorite. Go ahead and leave me a message in the comments if you think I should cut that baby in half or what I should do with it. So until the next episode, like, share, subscribe. Please do leave a comment. It helps build my channel. Check out my Patreon page in the description box below. Flower Gold Wizards out.